Let's talk about party constituency and ideology. Party leaders cannot force party members to vote the way they want them to. But that doesn't mean they don't have a lot of influence. They have a lot of influence. If you make your party leadership mad, for example, you won't get the committee assignments you want. You won't have allies when you want to pass a bill. It's very important to have friends in Congress because when a bill comes up that you support, you need to be able to go to people and try to get them to support it. If you're constantly doing whatever you want and not helping out your party when you want to get something done, you're not going to be able to get it done. The prime determinant of members' vote on most issues is their ideology. Are they conservative? Are they liberal? Are they, pro-war, anti-war? And on some issues, in fact, on many issues, particularly if there's no media attention on the issue, the legislators will often just ignore what their constituents want. If nobody's making a big deal out of it, they will freely vote against what the voters in their district want. Now, if a lot of people are looking at the issue, they will often then vote the way the people back in their home district want. But of course, we don't pay a lot of attention to what Congress does, so usually they just do what they want. There are 35,000 registered lobbyists attempting to influence the 535 members of Congress. The bigger the issue, the more lobbyists and the more money will be placed on that issue. Lobbyists will attempt to influence legislators' votes, as you can imagine. And lobbyists can be ignored, shunned, and even regulated by Congress, although that doesn't happen very much. Ultimately, it's this combination of lobbyists, how much we're paying attention to what they're doing, what their party wants, and then finally their own personal opinion that determines what they're going to do. I want to introduce three terms here because I find them interesting in understanding why legislators do what they want. The first is the idea of the trustee. The trustee theory of Congress says that the voter trusts the judgment of the representative. And so the representative shouldn't care what the voters want per se. They trust him to do what's right, even if he disagrees with them. The instructed delegate concept says that the goal of the representative is to find out what the people want and do that, even if he personally disagrees with it. Now, the modern way most people think about congressmen is as a politico, which is both, which is you tend to do what you're supposed to tend to do what the people want, but occasionally you might make a principled stand, and we call that a politico. In reality, I would argue that it is things like party, how much attention the media gives an issue, and lobbying that end up affecting a lot of votes, if not most votes. Leadership and committee assignments are not representative. Congress does try to respond to what the people want, but many people feel, in fact, most people feel like Congress can do a better job. It's horribly thought of in the public eye. Its approval ratings are incredibly low. Members of Congress tend to be responsive to the people if the people are paying attention and make clear what they want. But that doesn't happen all that much. Supporters claim that Congress is a forum in which many interests compete for policy. They claim that it's decentralized, so there is no organized control, and it's a bunch of people doing what they want. Critics say that's not necessarily true. It's a bunch of people doing what they're being lobbied to do, and in that way it is centralized. Critics also point out that it is uncoordinated and fragmented, and in some sense 535 people all going off in their own direction. We've talked about the hyperpluralist theory, and that's what it's talking about here, that congressmen want to respond to the people who are trying to influence them, and this leads to the sprawl, the growth of government trying to do everything, and of course ever-increasing budgets. So anyway, there's a little one-page summary, one-page summary, and that's Congress.